Om Shanti. In today's blessing, Baba is asking us to be free from disheartenment and arrogance. And what I have figured out about these vices is they are there within us, but very difficult to recognize that I have ego or I have attachment. And today Baba gives us a very good sign of how to figure out whether I have arrogance. And Baba says the sign of somebody who has arrogance is they will feel insulted. So Baba, in Hindi it is said, अभिमान वाले को अपमान की महसूसता होती है. So it's very difficult to know whether I have arrogance, but very easy to figure out if I feel insulted. And if I feel insulted, I have arrogance. And if I watch myself from morning till night, what are the things that make me feel insulted? Sometimes feeling insulted is so easy. So somebody just didn't acknowledge you in a group. So you are not acknowledged, and not even, it's not about verbal acknowledgement. Somebody just didn't look at you in a group, and then that can make you feel insulted. So that's the level of arrogance we have. Arrogance that has to be fed in every interaction, or some kind of ratification, some kind of approval, recognition we need every moment. So all that is arrogance. And Baba says that if you keep feeling insulted like this, then when will you do the work of, establishment of the new world? So if you want to, so the context in which Baba is talking about these two things, disheartenment and arrogance, Baba says, may you become free from disheartenment and arrogance and carry out the task of renewal with humility. So we have to carry out the task of renewal of this world transformation. And if we get caught up in these two things, so arrogance and disheartenment, they take away most of our time and thoughts. And then when will we carry out the task of world renewal? So I remember there was this one little child of Baba. He was some 13 years old. And his mother, she's in Gyan. He also comes to class sometimes. And then the mother said, Chalo beta, we will distribute pamphlets. So there was a upcoming event in the center, and she said, let's distribute pamphlets in the park. And then the mother and the kid went to distribute those pamphlets. And then the kid gave a pamphlet to somebody, and that person tore it in front of him. And then the kid got very upset, and he told his mother, Mama, let's go back. These people don't deserve to be invited to a program. So we will not invite anybody who doesn't deserve. And he felt very offended, and he couldn't distribute any pamphlets after that. So his mother said, you see beta, we if you get a sales job or you get a job where you have to sell something, then for money you will have to endure all that, feeling of insult. But this is God's work, this is Baba's work. So why can't we endure these feelings when we distribute pamphlets? And he needed a lot of counseling before he could go again with his mother and do the seva. So Baba says that, if you keep feeling insulted, because people have a lot of bias against many things, and they will behave according to their biases. So according to the social prejudices. So, if somebody is approaching you, so let's take a prejudice in society that if somebody is coming up and approaching you, then they have to have selfish interest behind it. So this is one prejudice we have. So because of that, if you approach somebody even with the intention that this person should get Baba's introduction and this soul should get something from Baba, you will face some kind of a backlash. So they will either doubt your intention, or they will behave in a manner which, if you have arrogance, if you have body consciousness, then you will feel offended about it. So Baba says that when you are working for world renewal, then you will face many biases. Let's say if you ask somebody to come and attend a program which is free of cost. So basically the course is free of cost, but still if you ask somebody, they will feel that probably you are getting something out of it. That's why you are you're motivating or inspiring, or looks like coercing somebody to go and undertake the course. And then they might behave in a manner which may not be very polite, but still, when you understand the intention of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and you're doing it with humility. Now, what is humility? So the soul is basically humble. So as our original nature is humility. So our original nature is to do whatever we do because we believe in it, and not get thwarted or threatened by how the other person responds to it. So that is basically humility. But then we have a lot of ego which has been created through 63 births, and how other people are responding to it sometimes make a difference to us. So Baba says, until you do away with this arrogance, you will not be able to you will not be able to do the work of world renewal with humility. And I remember in my early days of seva, I was very humble in giving. So I could give knowledge, I could share Baba's teachings, I could work hard, I could give my time and energy, and I could do that with humility. But when it came to asking others to contribute to the task and create their fortune, so because if you cannot motivate anybody to what Baba calls safal karo, if you can't motivate somebody to contribute their time, thought, wealth, energy, anything, then how will they create good karma? But I felt very insulted in asking somebody for contribution, or I couldn't do it earlier, and I thought that probably if I'm only giving, it's good, but if I'm asking somebody to contribute or create their fortune, then I wouldn't like it. And if somebody responded negatively, that was the worst nightmare I had. But but that is also arrogance, because you shouldn't have any arrogance in telling what Shibaba says. So when Shibaba says that when you do good karma, you get good result. So motivating everybody to do good karma. And how do you do good karma without being a giver, without creating, powerful, peaceful thoughts of giving, or, without contributing in terms of your energy and wealth? How do you create good karma? So anything that Baba teaches us, which is instrumental in this task of world renewal, we should not have any feeling of insult in sharing that, telling that. So even if somebody blocks you, don't feel insulted and keep sending them messages. So, or if somebody is not responding well, you can keep sending them messages, and until they choose to just find means to not listen to those messages, you should not feel insulted if somebody is not responding according to your expectations, because sometimes we have expectations about how somebody should respond, and that's not how the task of world renewal happens. So you should not have any arrogance in saying what Baba says, or spreading the message, or doing the seva that Baba asks us to do. And with humility, we should be able to do it. So this is one thing. Then there is another side to arrogance. So first thing is feeling insulted. Second is disheartenment. I'm not good enough. So this is another kind of arrogance that we have. And the language of this arrogance is, I'm not good enough. Probably I'm not the one who can carry out this task of world renewal for Baba. And people get disheartened. Probably I'm not the one who can every day get up in the morning, because I've tried several times and it is not working for me. Or probably I'm not able to stay peaceful or have thoughts of benevolence for others. Sometimes I create negative thoughts for others. So Baba says, don't lose hope, because, and I think that in this war with our tendency to get disheartened, the best tool is to know that God knows better than you. And if He's talking to you, and if He's showing His hope in you, then you cannot give up on yourself. And in this whole journey, I have seen that actually Baba knows me better than I know myself. And every day when He's speaking to me, and He's choosing to speak to me, and He's telling me that I am the one who will be able to do whatever He's saying, then I don't have a right to give up on myself. So it's not by accident that you're listening to the Murli, it is by design. And it's not like the Murli is a literature, it's something that Baba is speaking to me personally. And I can hear the words that Baba is speaking, and they make sense to me for a reason, because I am the one who will carry them out in spirit eventually. So that's my destiny. That's why these words make sense to me. So when I understand the perfect design, and it is by design that Baba is talking to me, Baba is speaking the Murli to me, and I'm getting what Baba is speaking. So whatever I'm getting, I will be able to put into action one day, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe 5 days later, but I don't have to give up on myself. And all those who didn't give up on themselves have succeeded on this path. So I have seen so many, and every Brahmin has a different story to tell. and everybody's story is like they thought they would never be able to be a good BK. Good BK is a BK by the books, so doing everything accurately according to the timetable and Srimad that Baba gives. So we always have this disheartenment, this thought of disheartenment that probably I'm not that good BK, but you are the one. That's why Baba is talking to you. Don't give up on yourself. Even if anybody gives up on you, sometimes everybody else will give up on you, and sometimes even the family will give up on you, but you don't give up on yourself because Baba has not given up on you. So that is something which we must remember. And in connection with this, I also want to talk about what are the signs of attachment. So sometimes, when you want to gauge how attached you are to somebody, so it's very difficult to figure out because we feel we are not attached. But the sign of attachment is a feeling of loss. So if you have a feeling of loss when something changes, then you have a sanskar of attachment. If you see change as loss, then there is attachment. So do you understand the nature of change, that when something changes, then something gives away and then something replaces it? Change is not like something is just taken away. Something is taken away and something is given back. That's the nature of change. So let's say you lose something. Maybe so there was this one sister and she lost a diamond earring. And then she told me, Didi, I misplaced it and I lost it. I said, where did you keep it? So she said, I kept it in the pocket of my jeans when I was, changing clothes, and then I am not able to find that. So I said, every gain, every loss, is a gain in some way. She said, now don't give me this, Didi. It is not gain in any way. I lost my diamond earrings and you are saying I gained something. What did I gain? So I said, you gained a lesson that you have to be careful with things that you value. And if you have not gained that, then that is a real loss, because you will lose many things if you don't gain this one thing. The pocket of jeans is not not the place you keep diamond earrings. Don't you know this much? So she said, I know, but now I'm repenting, but I want to get it back and then I will repent. So I said, no, you have to learn this lesson, and this is what you have gained, and that is more priceless than the diamond earrings. So you are always gaining something when you apparently lose something. So something replaces something. That's the nature of change. But you should be able to have a holistic vision to see that. So when you see yourself as a soul who values virtues, powers, and physical attainments equally. So when you are able to see the value of everything, the value of virtues, the value of knowledge, the value of powers, the value of things, the value of people, then you will be able to see what you lost and what you gained. And basically, this whole life with Baba, if you have a holistic vision, you are with Baba, and then you are always gaining more than you're losing. So when you're able to see that, everything that goes away is teaching you a lot. Everything that's changing is teaching you tolerance, is teaching you, how to move ahead with dignity. So every time somebody apparently insults you, they are teaching you how to have more self-respect. So, but you should be able to see that. And if you're very attached to your idea of things, or you are attached to physical things, physical relationships, then that sense of loss will be very profound. And Baba today says that you have to be cry proof in this birth. Rona proof banna hai. So, what is Rona proof? So, you have to do away with this sense of attachment if you have to do away with the sense of loss. And you must understand that this whole journey has a purpose. Okay. Now I will give you an example which may not sound very sweet in the first instance, but just think about what I'm talking. So there is this couple, and they were in Gyan for very long. So 17, 18 years in Gyan, and very good sevadharis of Baba. And then and a very nice pair. So it looked nice to see them together also. So I have seen them together in many occasions, and they used to do seva together, and it was beautiful to see them on this journey together. But then in COVID, the brother left the body. And at that time, when I got to hear that, I also felt a wave of sorrow at that time, because you always feel nice to see them together, and then you hear that the brother left the body. But then I thought about it, and I felt that you see that Gyan is teaching us that my only partner is Baba. And they have been practicing this for very long, and this incident has given an opportunity for both of them, to be with Baba. So we are practicing it together, but then it's an individual lesson. And what's there to cry? This is the next step. So when I understood this thing, I felt like, there is no reason to feel sorrow about this occasion also. So Baba says that, and I'm talking from what I deeply realized in that situation. So we are learning that I come alone and my only companion is Baba. So even if the one who is with me on this journey, or even when things are they look very beautiful when we are together, still the lesson to learn is that I am alone and my only companion is Baba. And what is the need to cry when this is the next step and drama is putting me on to the next step to be with Baba all the time? So if you really look at everything from the point of view of truth, then you will never feel a sense of loss. And I am talking about a very practical situation, because it's very easy to say don't feel a sense of loss, but you feel a sense of loss when a death happens or somebody leaves the body. But Baba says you have to create this sanskar of being Rona proof here. So nothing should be able to break your heart. Nothing should be able to make you cry. Yes, and not like that psychologically, psychologically frozen heart which doesn't cry, not like that, but with understanding. So you're sensitive enough to understand the situation, but sensible enough to not feel a sense of loss. So you're sensitive, you understand this is loss, you feel that there is a change, but then you are sensible enough to understand that crying is not what I engage in at this moment, and it is all happening for good. So Baba says, when you create this sanskar here, then in Satyug you don't cry, because in Satyug there is nothing like crying. So people come, people go, leave bodies, take bodies, no crying in Satyug, because this is the tendency, this is the sanskar you create here. And then Baba also gives us another warning today. So let's say you are on the verge of leaving the body, and then you see something or you're reminded of something which pulls in a wave of sorrow. And then what happens? Your last Antmate Sogati, your final moments are compromised. So you don't reach your destination because of that. Have you seen that story of Milkha Singh? And in that story it is shown that he was almost on the finishing line, and then he was reminded of a past incident, and he got emotional, and he couldn't make it to the finishing line because he slowed down in that wave of emotion. So do you know how not only the feeling of loss in the current moment, but also memories of feelings of loss, they can also come to you at a difficult moment, because situations trigger memories, and then those memories can spoil my last moments also. So never have these memories of loss also. No feelings of loss, no memories of loss. Have you worked on your memories? So this is another subject that needs to be thought about. So when we come to Gyan, we get new light, and we start seeing present events in the new light. So earlier so Baba has told us in yesterday's Murli that when somebody defames you, you take it as praise, and when there is sorrow, you take it as happiness. So we understand that now, and we try to imbibe that in the present moment, right? But the earlier ones, the things that happened before Gyan. So let us talk about what is the nature of memories. So your memory is not a memory of what happened. Your memory is a memory of the interpretation of what happened, right? So whenever something happens, you have an interpretation of what is happening, and that is what you record into yourself, and that becomes your memory. Correct? So your memory is not a memory of what happened, but your memory is a memory of your interpretation of what happened. And whatever was your state of mind at that time has created that memory. Right? So let me tell you that when you are a 6-year-old, the way you interpret things is very different, and then your memories are according to that. And all our trauma from childhood is because of our interpretation of a child's interpretation of events. So I remember there was this sister, and she shared something very beautiful. She said that as a child, I used to be very aware that I don't disturb anybody. So I felt like I shouldn't disturb anybody. I was very little, 3-4 years of age. And I remember I felt that nobody should get disturbed because of me. And then one day I wanted to go to the toilet in the night. So I woke up and the toilet was, outside the house. So I didn't want to disturb anybody, wake up anybody. So I went up to the toilet, but it was dark and I couldn't switch on the switch of the light. So I just decided that I should pee outside the toilet because, nobody should get disturbed and the work should be done. So I did that and I came back and slept quietly. And then in the morning, I was 6 year old, and my father woke up in the morning and he saw that I had peed outside the toilet, and he beat me up very badly because he told me that this girl doesn't have any manners and she's not waking anybody up and she's dirtying the place outside, but she's not making the effort to wake somebody up. And she said that that became a very big trauma for me because I felt that I had such good intention and my parents failed to understand that, and they are beating me up at every every possibility, every occasion they get. And she said that I couldn't couldn't love my father for very long for that. But you see that as an adult, we understand that it was just a child's mind, or what you're thinking inside of yourself vis-a-vis what it looks like on the outside. So now as an adult, you are able to understand that this person thought like this and the child thought like that, and it's a wrong interpretation which led to that trauma. Now, there are many such incidents in your life which, if you revisit with the light of knowledge, they look different to you. And with the knowledge that every soul, so when we are children, we think our parents are superheroes and they have third eye and vision and they can see the past, present, and future, and they can understand everything that's going on in your mind. But they are not superheroes, they are very human and they are souls who are very limited in their capacity of things, and parents need a lot of compassion also for that. So children with their child's mind, you have a lot of complaint from your parents because you don't consider your parents human. You consider that they should have some extra, So now you understand that they are pretty, they are also pretty, limited by their sanskars. And they also can't help being themselves. So they also have their own limitations, whether they are psychological, mental, emotional, physical, they have their own limitations. And you have to be compassionate towards their limitations also. So all those complaints that you are harboring against parents is also because you thought they are superhuman, but they are only human. And then and then there are lots of such programmings, such traumas that we carry from friends and others. And now that we have understood that weak souls perform bad actions, we understand that those bad actions came from a weak place, not a bad place. And now when you look at those actions coming from a weak place, you will be able to have compassion rather than, taking sorrow or feeling hurt or getting angry about those events. So I would like you to also revisit your past memories in this new light of knowledge and re-record them in the true light of knowledge. And this is very important to make us cry proof in our final moments, because in our final moments all the deeply embedded memories will come up. All the deeply embedded memories. So I don't know if you have seen people who are on bed rest and for very long, and then they lose their memories and towards the fag end of life. And if you look at them, they are very disconnected with the present. They are living in the past because the past memories become very profound at that time. And if you have not worked on your past memories, then your final moments might get sabotaged. So Baba says that you must do this inner work of becoming very cry proof, clean all the trauma inside, by applying the light of knowledge. Look into the crevices of the mind and the subconscious mind and the memory track, and clean everything by using Baba's knowledge and yoga power. So that's very important. And then it's also about crying in the moment, but also the past things. Then Baba today tells us that if you want to be a king in Satyug, so Baba today says that what effort do you have to make in order to win the lottery of having a royal status in the golden age? So Baba says that you have to check yourself for any evil spirits. Evil spirits means vices. So if there are any vices within you, you will not be able to marry Lakshmi. Yes, and there is a story behind this. So the story in the scriptures is that Narad went to marry Sri Lakshmi. So Sri Lakshmi was having a Swayamvar, and then Narad went to attend that Swayamvar, and before attending that, he got a boon, okay, that he meditated, he did tapasya, and he got a boon that he should be converted into Kapi. So the word is Kapi. Now Kapi has two meanings. Kapi means Narayan and Kapi means a monkey, both. Okay, so he did tapasya and he took the boon that he should be converted into Kapi. Now he thought that his face looks like Sri Narayan when he went for the Swayamvar, but his face actually looked like that of a monkey. And then when Sri Lakshmi rejected him and he asked why he was rejected, then Sri Lakshmi said, why don't you go and look into the mirror and see who you are? So Baba says that here that story is relevant here, because here we are all studying and making effort to be Sri Narayan. But if we look into the mirror of what? Mirror of Srimat. So if I look into the mirror of Srimat, I look into the mirror of the Murli and I figure out that I'm still a monkey. So, under the sway of vices, then I will get rejected by Lakshmi. So Baba says, you better look into the mirror before thinking that you're becoming Narayan. We are all studying to become deities, but then the mirror is very important, because if I don't look into the mirror of what I'm being taught and what I'm doing, then what happens is sometimes you think you're becoming Narayan, but you're still a monkey. So Baba says, don't forget that story and keep looking into the mirror of Srimat, mirror of the Murli, and keep checking what Baba is asking you to do vis-a-vis what you're doing. And when you keep doing that, then you will slowly, gradually identify your weaknesses and your vikars and vices, and you will be able to change them so that you become true Narayan. And then today Baba in the slogan gives also a very good method to become a Satyugi deity. Baba says, those who be seated on the throne of world service, and you will be able to sit on the throne of your kingdom. So at this time, those who become responsible for this spiritual service, they will become, the eligible ones to sit on the throne of the kingdom. So Baba in Hindi says, Abhi zimmewari ka taj, to wahan double taj. So those who take up the responsibility to do the spiritual service of the world will become eligible and will become the biggest contenders to become the world kings and take care of the kingdom in future. So are you ready to take the responsibility of world service? Because that is the easiest way to become a king in Satyug. Yes. And then, when Baba talks about becoming a king in Satyug, some children say, we don't mind whether I become a servant in Satyug or a king in Satyug or a landlord in Satyug. I'm pretty flexible that way. Yes. But you're not flexible. Today you don't get promoted and your assessment, when your appraisal happens, somebody gives you a lower appraisal, then you are not okay with it. So you're not going to be okay with that in Satyug. But the thing is, you don't consider that to be a reality today. So you think we don't mind what position we get in Satyug. But you should mind and you should make effort, because tomorrow you will have a feeling that I should have worked better and got better. I remember there was this brother and he told me, I don't mind whether I become a king in Satyug or not. I'm happy to be a servant in Satyug also. So I didn't tell him anything, and when he was leaving, I said, I think you lost your 100 rupees, it's fallen there. So he just, he was very, he got shocked and then he looked here and there. So I said, you mind losing 100 rupees to this extent? And then you say you don't mind losing the kingdom of Satyug. So don't give me this. It's that you don't believe there's going to be a kingdom of Satyug. So you use this, you say you're very humble and this and that. But it's not like that. So he said, I got your point. So this is how it is. So when you understand Satyug is a reality, you must understand that the ones who serve the world right now, the ones who take up the responsibility of being contributors and participants and taking the responsibility of Baba's work, they will claim the right to the kingdom tomorrow. Okay. Om Shanti.